Alright, in this segment we're going to talk about the ATB Elegance 200. As you can see, it's in operation. I just set this sump up yesterday. You can see how nice and pretty and clean it is, obviously. Got a new camera, so I'm sure you can see how much better the picture is and the white balance. But this skimmer works very, very well. Lots of little bubbles. I've got the water line elevated here just to accommodate this skimmer. I've got it on stands right now. You can see about 3.5-inch stands, a little higher than I want. If you see my little water level label there, that's for the future skimmer. It's going to be about an inch lower when I get the future skimmer. But here we're talking about the Elegance, and you can see that foam. And I've got the pipe all the way open, and you can see it churning through the bubble plates. Really moving. Processes a lot of water. It's tossing out foam. It's really light green right now. It's been, well, I hooked it up last night and left it open. I had it set up way too high, or too deep in the water, I should say. It was down about 8 inches, and I didn't want to run it too shallow, so I ran it a little deeper. It still pulled some foam out, but I left the valve open. I've got a valve there, you can see. A valve at the base of the skimmer cup, and I left it open so that the liquid could come out but the foam would stay. So I cleaned the foam out at 4 o'clock this morning, and then I cleaned it out later today. Then I cleaned up my stands that I used when I had it in my ecosystem filter, and I moved it, took the feet off, the extended feet, moved them, and stuck them in here. So, but this skimmer really works well. And it's so nice to be able to take it apart. You can see the little screw heads there. I mean, that gasket you see there allows you to take this thing completely apart. I mean, there isn't a part except for the 90 here, this 90 assembly. That 90 exit T is welded to the bottom portion of the skimmer. You can see the little silicone connector between the pump, the Airstar pump, and the skimmer pipe, the gray skimmer pipe there. It's a little dark in there. I'm surprised the camera's doing as well as it is. Much better than the SLR camera, and you don't hear it going back and forth. But I've got the hooked up to the muffler, and then the muffler's connected to the top, and then I have the top of the cover has a float switch in it, so if it ever did overflow, the reef keeper would turn off the skimmer pump so it stops overflowing. One good thing about this sump is that it's so large that if it overflowed, it'd just go back in the sump. But just an effort to show you this Elegance 300 brand new wide open in action. I'm going to leave it wide open for a little while and let it get some of the thick heavy foam out before I adjust it tighter. You can see in the neck it's down a little low, but you can see the foam. Sorry about the reflection from outside, but it really foams. And I just cleaned this pump, and it had a couple of pieces of acrylic cleaner pad and a few other things in it, so it was in dire need of a cleaning, but it's doing very well. Just skimming out the thick, nasty gook. And I've got bio pellets running, and that pipe you see there is where my biopellets come out at. So the biopellets are over here in the dark. See how well it will look at these. Oh, doing great. So there are the biopellets. And the pipe comes out the top, runs around, and I just have it sitting in here right now. We'll see if I need to run a straight pipe or what I'm going to do with it. The sump's brand new, just going through the motions here for a few days. Want to see how this skimmer does, but it looks to me like it's doing very well. Of course, everything looks nice and clean because I cleaned it yesterday. The suction, it sucks an awful lot of air. You can really see those bubbles churning down. Let's see how close we can get and still focus. That's about as good as we're going to get. See those bubbles churning? Amazingly small bubbles. Anyway, a good look at the Elegance 200. Take care.